Well, I will tell you my Dodgers thing before we get into
All
any
right.
Yeah.
because
I hope it doesn't end with you missing Clayton's strikeout.
oh, it does.
Oh
It sure
no!
does.
Oh no!
So,
Only reason for going that day.
Right, I know, because I know Saturday was a magical night at Dodger Stadium.
not for me.
Oh,
Because it
What
was
happened?
one of the worst experiences of my life.
oh,
Well, that's not fair.
I've had a lot of horrible experiences.
I made a terrible mistake of.
I've made,
I often am like I've treated to free tickets, and because of through my, fortunately being Brad Paisley adjacent, I get a lot of great treatment. I went to an early, I went early on in the preseason and got to hang out with Clayton and got a preview of the season, which ended up being hysterical and relevant. But this time I just was like, you know what, Fran, we turned out to have Saturday no plans, which was, it's just all year it's been crazy between the Grammys getting delayed, the podcast, book stuff it's been nuts. And I finally said, let's just go together. And I bought tickets, and I bought us relatively cheap tickets, pretty high up. But I like a view. I just
Sure.
like the balcony of the theater at the Ace Hotel is beautiful. You see the whole, the poor people in the front row, they don't see the whole stage. I did. And, so the tragic mistake was I was like, well, Fran, we'll leave at, and I'm trying to be sensitive to her because I'm trying to stay married because everything's in her name. And I said, we'll leave at 5. And she said, no. We'll leave close to 6. Big.
all right.
Big.
Did you tell? Because I also know this. It was a bobblehead night.
It was a bobble. Again, another thing I didn't partake in. It was a bobblehead night. What happened was, so we took also, Google Maps had some sort of breakdown because it took everyone in Los Angeles through some side street that was backed up for, I don't know, 3 hours.
Oh.
And I got there, we got to Dodger Stadium in the 3rd inning, but once you got into Dodger Stadium, and this will be, believe me, I will be going directly to top ownership to sue them. But the person taking the tickets couldn't read the tickets, had arguments with every person, accused me of being a new fan to the Dodgers because I was like, and then once we got past her with our parking pass, being finally, and she couldn't scan it, but they finally let us in. It then took an hour and 15 minutes to find a place to park at Dodger Stadium. And they actually parked us outside the stadium, outside the booths, like down the hill. And we walked in an inning and a half after Clayton. We heard, I was in the parking lot for another 40 minutes, hearing Clayton breaking the record. And we got there in time for the Dodgers to play terribly, in time for every staff member who's left at Dodge. Like, since the pandemic, they must hire people. They only hire people who don't speak English and hate baseball, which is a hard thing to find. The ticket people couldn't find. They said, "Where's section? Whatever it was." Like, they didn't know. 2 people who that was their job. I don't know where this is.
All right. Well, good thing you're a professional walker, though, because every picture I see, you're out in the middle, lost somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, we walked.
You got a lot of steps that day.
Where did the seats end up being?
Our seats ended up being great. I loved the actual seats. They were like, 3/4 the way up, but looking over first base, and it was beautiful. It was at a beautiful night. It was great. Unfortunately, this is a very sensitive issue. My wife and I both realized we are sickened by garlic fry smell. And so we were surrounded by people like just bathing in garlic fries. And so I said at a certain point, I looked up and I looked to this like far end and I said, you know what? Let's go there and socially distance from all of this. So we went to the worst seats in the house and they were still great. And that was much more fun, except the Dodgers collapsed after Clayton, was taken out of the game. And that was my Dodger night.
Well, you reaffirmed our decision. I'm going to play this for my husband not to go that morning. We thought we should just get tickets, try and get tickets, cheapy tickets, and I'm so glad we didn't.
Well,
I wish I'd stayed home and watched it.
Yeah. All right, but you don't. Okay, so now did your lovely wife say, "I've made a horrible mistake. I apologize. We should have left at 5"? Was that ever said?
She I wouldn't say apologize. She said we should have left earlier, but she didn't take ownership of that. But she did very sweetly, though. Like we were, and I'm not joking. There was like an hour and a half within a mile of on this weird street called Douglas, where the Google Maps was telling everyone to make a left turn in the middle of this hilly neighborhood on the side of Vin Scully, and it literally there was no one moving for an hour and a half. At that point, she said, "Why don't you just go walk and go to the game, and I will park somewhere and I'll meet you." And I just wouldn't. I said, "No, I'm not leaving you here." It's my training in Vietnam. You leave no wife behind.
That's chivalrous of you.
Oh,
That's my definition of